Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to COD Zombies HQ, and it seems like the leaks for Treyarch's next Call of Duty game are starting early this year. It's from an unlikely source, and its contents blend the future of the two largest FPS franchises out there. I want to thank you for tuning in today, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the leak itself first, and then we're going to analyze the background of it so it makes sense to you and the implications of it after. Joe Brammer over on Twitter said, "Just need to tell people I knew about Bad Company 3 for a long time. I know about the next Call of Duty 2. They didn't stay in World War II for long." Okay, so now that you know the contents of the leak, let's go back and let me explain how it got to this point. It's a really interesting story. Now, this whole thing actually starts from the Battlefield community. When on December 11th, 2017, a YouTube user named Almighty Dak posted this video, which is now entitled DICE LA's Battlefield Leaked Insider Information. In the video, he claims that the next Battlefield game, or at least the game that DICE LA is working on, will be Battlefield Bad Company 3. And he went into some detail about the contents of that game and some game modes that they're thinking of and things like that. Now, why was this guy listened to in the first place from the Battlefield community? He probably is just making everything up, right? Well, the reason the Battlefield community trusted him is because there is a very few videos on his channel. He's not like just a regular popular YouTuber. His first video was published on March 3rd, 2016, and it's entitled Battlefield 2016 Leaked Insider Information. In this video, he claimed to have information about the next Battlefield game after Battlefield 4 at that time, and in the video, he accurately and explicitly described game modes, the setting, and a bunch of features of the then yet unannounced Battlefield 1. This established his credibility within the Battlefield community, that he has some kind of insider information. The contents of this early video described Battlefield 1 to the T. Naturally, when someone that correctly leaked a past game in the past makes another video leaking details about a game in the future, the Battlefield community was set alight. If you're familiar with the Battlefield community, if you're a part of it and you like COD 2, then you must have seen a bunch of your favorite YouTubers like Westy, Level Cap Gaming, Jack Frags. All these guys made videos talking about this leak, whether it was true or whether it was false. Then seemingly out of the blue, Joe Brammer had to weigh in on this debate, of course saying, "Just want to tell people I knew about Bad Company 3 for a long time." Well, who exactly is this guy and how would he know this stuff? Well, Joe Brammer is the studio lead at the Bulkhead, working on a game that was kickstarted called Battalion 1944. Think of Battalion 1944 as very similar to Call of Duty 2, but basically running in a modern engine and modern day graphics and support. Now, why would someone like this know that DICE LA has been developing Bad Company 3 for a while now and the setting of the next Call of Duty game? This is where we don't know 100% why. We do know he's the studio head of a game studio that is developing an FPS title very similar to classic Call of Duties that has garnered significant support. It's not so far-fetched to think he talks with or had been in contact with developers and creative people from other studios in the gaming industry in a similar market, like Battlefield and like Call of Duty. Well, why would he share this information on Twitter? I think this comes down to what most leaks come down to, and that is, it's a kind of split-second emotional decision. You've seen people talking about Bad Company 3. Is it real? Is it not? You know the answer, and you can't help giving a little nudge in the right direction on Twitter. Obviously, this is not the right way to do it. This is something that he should not be talking about if he knows indeed that Bad Company 3 exists and the setting of the next Call of Duty game won't be in World War II. Once his tweet started picking up a little bit of traction, not long after, bam, deleted. Not gonna talk about it ever again. Personally, this does seem credible. It seems to me that this is a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction tweet of something, of kind of flexing his knowledge of insider information, then deleting it and never mentioning it again once you realize, yeah, this probably isn't the best course of action. keeping a secret, especially when there's a big debate going on over that secret and there is no direct consequences to your product or livelihood, is pretty hard to do if you've ever had to do something similar yourself. So again, I chalk that up to a knee-jerk emotional response. Now hopefully this is being explained to you, and I had to go over all that so this would make sense, so you understand the background and where this person is coming from. Let's get talking about its implications for Treyarch's next Call of Duty game. So this seems to kind of confirm what people were thinking about Treyarch's next Call of Duty game. Reports were stating that the next game being developed by Treyarch will be Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We've also got some indications from the voice actor of Sergeant Woods from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 that he's involved in the new project. About this new game, I think we can all say confidently that it will be boots on the ground again, that they are probably, if they're going for a Black Ops 4, they're not going to keep pushing it into the future as it has been in the past. Instead, it's likely that we're going to reel back in time and perhaps revisit a section of history that either has been covered in minor detail by previous games like Black Ops 1 and 2, or revisit a section of newer history that has been covered much less. But also talking about the setting from another angle, I've heard some whispers in the past that a post-apocalyptic theme could also maybe fit with the criteria of what we know about the next Treyarch game. It would be boots on the ground if it's post-apocalyptic at a certain point, right? And rationalizing why there's no jetpacks in that time period, right? They've all been destroyed from like some EMP or electrical discharge or something crazy like that, right? But that's just something I heard in the past. I can't tell you the source, but I'm not 100% sure about the legitimacy of it. If Joe is correct and Treyarch's next game is not set in World War II, me personally, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. I think the best Call of Duty ever made for me personally is Treyarch's Call of Duty World at War. If you haven't played it on PC recently, the multiplayer is extremely fun. If you're getting tired and pissed off of COD World War II, hop back into World at War on PC. It's incredible, seriously. World War II is by far the most interesting and my favorite time period to visit within these games in general. So the fact that we won't be revisiting it, maybe other theaters of war next year, is a little bit disappointing, but is 100% understandable. You want to market a game from Activision's point of view that players will recognize as being different from the game you released last year. I'm sure that if Treyarch made another World War II game, we'll have very similar weapons in the game that are in COD World War II right now. It'll just feel very similar to this year's iteration, and we haven't had two Call of Duties back-to-back set in the same time period since COD 2 and COD 3. So those points seem to back up what Joe is saying in this tweet. Now, in terms of its implications for Treyarch's Zombies, which if you're like me, I'm most excited about, is, well, not necessarily too much. If Black Ops 3 demonstrated to us anything, is that Zombies can go an entirely different direction and be set in an entirely different time period to that of the main game. If there's anything we just have to deal with in Zombies, is that of the base weapon sets in the game, right? Black Ops 3 was set mostly in the 1940s. We had to deal with weapons from the future for Monty reasons, but at the end of the day, that really didn't take away from the Zombies experience at whole, and it made when we actually had weapons from the past being added into the maps, like the PPSH, it made it that much more special. Zombies with base weapons maybe from the 1980s to the early 2000s could be very, very interesting. I think that assets from that time period would go very well with whenever and wherever Treyarch decides to set the next season of Zombies, and it would definitely mark a welcome change to the way the weapons looked and felt in Black Ops 3. But those are just my opinions on this leak. I would love to know your guys' thoughts on whether or not Treyarch's next game should stay within the World War II genre. This feature seemed to work really, really well in previous videos, so I want to do another one, and that is an in-video, an in-YouTube poll. In the upper right-hand side of your screen right now, you should see a little text pop out with an eye icon. tap or click on that and it'll keep playing the video, but a little pop-up will come from inside the video screen where you can vote on a poll on whether or not you want Treyarch's next game to be set in World War II or somewhere else like this leak seems to indicate. This is a feature of YouTube, so don't worry, it's not taking you to any kind of external site or anything like that. It's built in right into the YouTube video player. I would love to know your thoughts on it and can't wait to share it in a future video. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. This gets me very excited about the future of Call of Duty, especially now that it's Treyarch's time to shine. Like I said, for whatever reason, the leaks for the next COD game are starting early this year. This is probably the most anticipated COD game in a very long time. After Infinite Warfare, after people are kind of getting fed up with Sledgehammer in World War II, Treyarch is back, baby, very soon, and I can't wait for it. I want to thank you very much for watching this video once again, and I'll see you with another COD video tomorrow. Peace out.